$44.8 billion for spices, Maya? Tell me Unilever didn't just overpay for paprika.
They didn't overpay for paprika, Nate. It's a distribution play. Look at McCormick's shelf space.
Oh, come on, it's purely defensive. Just like those $74 billion whispers about Warner Brothers and Paramount trying to staple together a life raft.
I need to see a term sheet before I believe that gossip. But speaking of actual signed paper, we need to talk about Brookfield quietly swallowing $30 billion in pension savings. Denki. The rundown. I still refuse to believe someone actually paid $1 billion for liquid chalk.
It is a lifestyle brand, Maya. Danone is dropping roughly $1 billion for Huel to expand its protein portfolio. Tech bros everywhere are celebrating.
Tech bros are too busy building data centers to drink meal replacements, which brings us to Ecolab. They are buying CoolIT Systems for $4.75 billion.
Ecolab doing thermal management? That feels like a stretch.
Not if you read the fine print. It is a pure AI infrastructure play. Buyers are finally realizing that compute and advanced cooling are just too expensive to build from scratch right now. You have to buy your way in.
Just like private equity buying their way back into the game. The financing ice age is officially thawing. Carlyle Group just took a majority stake in MAI Capital Management at a $2.8 billion valuation.
RIA aggregators, roll-ups buying roll-ups.
It works. The math works. And speaking of massive numbers, the back channels are screaming about a potential $74.3 billion tie-up between Warner Bros. Discovery and Paramount Skydance.
Oh, stop. Not happening.
The bankers are bored, Maya. Bored bankers pitch mega deals.
The bankers are delusional. Regulators would laugh them out of the room before the ink dried. Look at the cross-border fintech and semiconductor deals right now. They are getting dragged out for months or just quietly killed.
You do not think a $74 billion media merger could slip through?
Have you seen the antitrust watchdogs sharpening their knives over Google buying Wiz for $32 billion? A media monopoly double that size is dead on arrival.
I'm just saying, if financing conditions keep stabilizing, people are going to take big swings. Public to private is coming back. Mega deals are back.
I will believe the Warner Bros. Deal when I see a signed term sheet. Until then, it is just golf course gossip.
Fair enough, but you do not need to wait for a signed term sheet on our top story. We have an actual monster of a deal that just dropped.
$44.8 billion of pure flavor. Unilever and McCormick are merging the grocery aisle, and the structure on this one is wild. The big one.
$44.8 billion for the spice rack. I actually had to read the press release twice.
You and everyone else. Unilever combining its food arm with McCormick is massive, but the number that actually made me choke on my coffee was the closing date.
Mid-2027.
Mid-2027. Nate, my dog will be a senior citizen by the time this thing clears.
3 years is a lifetime in M&A. But look at the map. You are creating a literal global flavor monopoly. They know the antitrust lawyers are going to drag them through the mud across, 40 different jurisdictions?
Exactly. They are pre-baking the regulatory nightmare into the timeline. But let us look at the actual strategy. Unilever gets to dump its slower growth food brands. McCormick gets unprecedented scale, and they just slap the word powerhouse on the deck to keep the analysts happy.
Oh, come on. It is a powerhouse. You are combining Hellmann's Mayo with Old Bay. That is a tailgate synergy dream.
A tailgate synergy dream. Wow. Did you charge Unilever 7 figures for that line?
Hey, I left the pitch decks behind, but the reflexes stay. Seriously, though, I love this for McCormick. They are buying distribution scale that would take them decades to build organically.
I completely disagree. I think McCormick is overpaying for legacy brands that are actively losing shelf space to private label. Look at the footnotes on Unilever's last 3 earnings reports. Volume is flat. They are relying entirely on price hikes to show growth, and consumers are tapping out. McCormick just bought a $44 billion leaky boat.
A leaky boat with incredible cash flow. They can use that cash to fund the high-margin spice business. It is a classic cash cow setup.
If the regulators actually let them milk it, which is a huge if right now, cross-border deals are getting murdered by antitrust scrutiny.
Well, speaking of deals that actually crossed the finish line, did you see Brookfield Wealth Solutions finally close the Just Group acquisition?
I did. $3.2 billion, and they instantly absorbed 700,000 customers and £30 billion in pension savings.
Just swallowed it whole. It is wild how alternative asset managers are quietly eating the entire retirement sector, while everyone else is distracted by flashy tech and food mega deals.
It is a brilliant structural play. Brookfield secures permanent capital, £30 billion of sticky, long-term money to deploy. No regulatory circus, no 3-year waiting period, just quiet, ruthless execution.
Unlike the absolute circus brewing in media right now, the back channels are lighting up with rumors of a $74.3 billion tie-up between Warner Brothers Discovery and Paramount Skydance.
I saw that. And if you think a spice merger is going to upset regulators, just wait until you try to merge those content libraries. But before we get into the Hollywood drama, we need to talk about this massive wave of pharma buyouts hitting the wire today. Voices.
I am looking at this note from the private equity desks this morning, and they are practically doing cartwheels. They are saying financing conditions are finally stabilized and the take private machine is officially back on.
Yeah, I saw that note. Carlyle taking a majority stake in MAI Capital for $2.8 billion is a nice data point, sure. But cartwheels? Oh, come on.
It is a strong signal, Maya. The debt markets are actually thawing. You cannot deny the vibe shift.
I can absolutely deny the vibe shift. Look at the other half of the analyst consensus right now. Buyers are only comfortable underwriting growth if it has the letters A and I attached to it. They are just buying compute infrastructure and cybersecurity because it is too hard to build organically.
You think this is just an AI halo effect propping up the broader M and A narrative?
I think calling it a broad market return is lazy. If you are not buying a data center cooling company like Ecolab did with CoolIT for $4.75 billion, you are sweating regulatory risk. Nobody is rushing into standard buyouts.
Okay, valid on the cooling systems. That Ecolab deal was a brilliant picks and shovels play, but the big money is definitely getting restless. The whispers on the back channels right now are wild. People are actually floating a $74.3 billion tie-up between Warner Brothers Discovery and Paramount Skydance.
Wait, really? $74 billion? Who is financing that god?
Right? The banker in me is salivating at the advisory fees, but the realist in me knows the FTC would personally chain themselves to the Paramount gates to stop it.
Exactly. Cross-border fintech, semiconductors, media mega deals, they are all in the regulatory crosshairs. And speaking of crosshairs, the antitrust watchdogs are already sharpening their knives for Google's $32 billion run at Wiz.
Which makes tomorrow very interesting. We will be watching how hard the regulators push on that Wiz deal. Plus, Eli Lilly is finalizing its Centessa buyout at up to $47 a share.
Lots of moving parts tomorrow, but we need to talk about the actual behemoth that dropped today. Unilever just bought a $45 billion spice rack. Spill the tea. I absolutely refuse to believe it.
$74.3 billion says you should at least entertain the idea.
It is corporate masochism, Nate. Warner Brothers Discovery and Paramount Skydance. Putting two burning buildings together does not make a fire station.
Okay, but hear me out. The back channels are lighting up. Financing conditions are finally stabilizing. Private equity is already prowling for take privates to unlock value. So why wouldn't the media dinosaurs try one last mega merger before the meteor hits?
Because the math is hideous. Have you looked at the debt loads? I read the footnotes on WBD's last quarter. They are absolutely swimming in it. Shoving Paramount into that mix is just a banker's fever dream.
Ouch, I feel personally attacked. But some managing director is pitching this right now with a straight face, talking about massive synergies in streaming.
Synergies, right? Firing middle management and merging two apps that crash constantly.
You are so cynical today. I actually think there is a defensive logic here. Buyers are getting bold again. Look at Google trying to swallow Wiz for $32 billion. If tech can confidently buy cybersecurity, media can buy, well, whatever Paramount has left.
Defensive logic is just a polite term for panic. And anyway, deal makers are sweating over regulatory scrutiny right now. Cross-border fintech and semis are getting dragged out forever or killed entirely. You think Washington is going to look at a $74 billion media tie-up and just wave it through?
Fair point. Antitrust watchdogs are definitely sharpening their knives, which actually makes me wonder how Google is going to pull off that whiz deal without a massive fight.
Exactly. And speaking of massive deals that might have regulators reaching for the antacids, we need to talk about Unilever's $44.8 billion flavor play. But tomorrow's radar.
I'm telling you, tomorrow is all about the regulators waking up. Everyone is watching that Google and Wiz deal.
$32 billion for a cloud security startup. I still can't get over that multiple.
It's cheaper than trying to build it organically. Plus, analysts are practically begging buyers to underwrite AI and cyber right now.
Sure, but antitrust watchdogs are already sharpening their knives. That timeline is going to drag. I'm actually watching the healthcare filings tomorrow. Eli Lilly is supposed to finalize Centessa.
Up to $47 a share?
Exactly. Real numbers, real pipeline, not just AI hype.
Oh, come on. You don't think the Warner Brothers Discovery and Paramount rumor is real?
$74.3 billion for 2 melting ice cubes? Absolutely not.
Hey, melting ice cubes still make a great cocktail if you pour enough private equity on them?
That's the most banker thing you've said all week.
I know, I call myself out. We'll see who's right when the filings hit the tape tomorrow morning.